I work reception at a Berlin hotel. An American checked in and immediately asked where the ice machine was. I explained we don't have those, Germans don't drink ice water. He stared at me like I'd announced we banned oxygen. What do you mean you don't have ice? This is a 4-star hotel. I told him we could bring ice to his room. He shook his head. No, I need the machine. For my routine. His routine, apparently, involved filling his personal water bottle every 2 hours. I offered to bring a bucket of ice twice daily. He said that wouldn't work because he needed access. He asked if there was an American hotel nearby. I suggested he try the grocery store for ice trays. He looked genuinely offended. Ice trays? What is this, 1987? He left a review complaining that German hotels were stuck in the past because we refused to install basic amenities. He gave us 2 stars. 1 star was for the bed. The other was, quote, for being honest about your limitations. Last summer, an American argued with our front desk for 20 minutes about why we needed his passport. He'd handed over his driver's license and credit card. I explained German law requires passport registration for foreign guests. He said his license was government-issued ID, so it counted. When I said it didn't, he asked to speak to someone who understood international law. That was me. He then claimed the EU couldn't legally require American passports because of reciprocal agreements. I asked which agreements. He said, the ones from the Marshall Plan. We eventually registered him, but he muttered about bureaucratic overreach the entire time. Another guest complained that our bathroom had a productivity problem. The problem? A water-saving showerhead. She asked if we had American-style high-pressure options. We didn't. She requested a different room. All our rooms had the same showers. She asked if she could install her own showerhead. I explained that would violate building codes. She said she'd pay for damages. I told her it wasn't about money, it was illegal. She asked what kind of country made strong showers illegal. These stories aren't rare. They're Tuesday. A family ate at our neighborhood restaurant in Munich. When the bill came, the father noticed we'd charged for water. He called the waiter over and pointed at the line item. You're charging us for tap water? The waiter explained it was bottled mineral water. They'd ordered 3 bottles. The father said they'd asked for water, not bottled water. The waiter confirmed they'd brought what was ordered. But we didn't say bottled. In America, water is free. The waiter explained that in Germany, you pay for water because tap water isn't typically served in restaurants. The father's face reddened. That's a scam. You're scamming tourists. His wife tried to calm him down. He ignored her and demanded to see the menu. The waiter brought it. The father pointed at Wasser and said, it doesn't say bottled. The waiter explained that all water on the menu was bottled unless specified otherwise, and tap water wasn't listed because they didn't serve it. The father said this was deceptive business practices. He announced he was paying for everything except the water. The waiter said that wasn't possible. The father asked why. Because you consumed it. The father claimed he'd been tricked and refused to pay. The waiter offered to call the manager. The father said, yes, call him. I want to report this scam. The manager arrived, listened politely, and explained the same thing. The father demanded they remove the water charge as a courtesy. The manager declined. The father paid but left a review warning Americans about Germany's hidden water fees. I worked at a pharmacy in Hamburg. An American woman came in with a prescription from her doctor in Florida. She handed it to me and waited. I looked at it and explained we couldn't fill American prescriptions. She needed a German doctor to rewrite it. She said that didn't make sense because it was the same medication. I told her it didn't matter. German law required a German prescription. She asked if I could just make an exception. I explained there were no exceptions. She said she'd run out of medication and needed it today. I suggested she visit a local doctor. She said she didn't have time because she was leaving tomorrow. I recommended a walk-in clinic. She asked why this was so complicated. In America, pharmacies are helpful. I told her I was being helpful. I'd given her the solution. She said the solution was me filling her prescription. I repeated that I legally couldn't. She asked if I could call her American doctor to confirm it was real. I said that wouldn't change anything. She threatened to report me for refusing medical care. I gave her the clinic's address. She left, then returned an hour later to apologize. The German doctor had explained the same rules. She said she still thought it was unnecessarily bureaucratic, but she understood I was just following the law. I manage a parking garage in Frankfurt. An American pulled in, parked, and walked out without taking a ticket. When he returned, the exit gate wouldn't open. He drove up to the intercom and explained he'd been parked for 2 hours. I asked for his ticket. He said he didn't take one. I explained he needed a ticket to exit. He said he didn't know that. I told him he should have taken the ticket at the entrance. He said the machine didn't give him one. I checked the system, the machine was working fine. He probably just drove through without stopping. I explained he'd have to pay the maximum daily fee since we had no record of his entry time. He said that wasn't fair because he'd only been there 2 hours. I told him I had no way to verify that. He asked if I could check cameras. I said cameras don't track parking duration, tickets do. He said this was a design flaw. I explained it worked perfectly if you took a ticket. He asked why the gate let him in without one. I said the entry gate opens automatically for traffic flow. The ticket machine is separate. He said that was confusing for tourists. I told him there were signs in 4 languages. He claimed he didn't see them. I offered to show him the signs on his way out. He asked if I could reduce the fee as a one-time courtesy. I said no. He paid the full-day rate and muttered, "Germany really loves its rules." I work at a train station in Cologne. An American asked why his ticket didn't have a seat number. I explained German train tickets don't automatically include seat reservations. You book seats separately. He said that defeated the purpose of a ticket. I told him the ticket guaranteed passage, not a specific seat. He asked what happened if the train was full. I said you stand or sit in available seat. He looked horrified. I paid €80. I'm not standing. I suggested booking a seat reservation next time. He said he shouldn't have to because his ticket should include it. I explained that's not how the system worked. He asked who designed such a backwards system. I didn't answer. He asked if he could upgrade to first class. I said he'd need a new ticket. He asked how much. I told him. He said that was highway robbery and asked to speak to someone in charge. I was in charge. He demanded a refund. I explained tickets were non-refundable. He said he'd been misled because American train tickets included seat. I told him he wasn't in America. He said that was irrelevant because basic customer service is universal. He boarded the train. Later, he complained online that German trains were chaotic and unorganized. He warned Americans to avoid at all costs. I taught English in Stuttgart. An American student enrolled for the summer. On his first day, he asked when lunch break was. I said we didn't have one. Students brought snacks or ate after class. He said he needed a lunch break because he couldn't focus for 4 hours straight. I explained the class was 3 hours with a 15-minute break. He said 15 minutes wasn't enough time to get lunch. I suggested eating before or after. He said that didn't align with his eating schedule. I told him he could leave during the break to grab food, but he'd miss part of the lesson. He asked why we didn't just schedule a longer break. I explained our program was structured for efficiency. He said American schools had hour-long lunches because students need proper nutrition. I told him this wasn't a school, it was an intensive language course. He asked if other students had complained. I said no. He asked if they were all German. I said mostly. He nodded knowingly, as if that explained everything. He started bringing full meals to class and eating during lessons. I asked him to eat during breaks. He said he was optimizing his time. Other students complained about the noise. I told him to stop. He said I was targeting him. He dropped out after 2 weeks and left a review saying German education doesn't respect student needs. I worked at a museum in Berlin. An American visitor asked if we had a fast pass option. I explained we didn't. Everyone waited in the same line. He said that seemed inefficient. I told him the wait was only 15 minutes. He said he'd paid for his ticket online and shouldn't have to wait at all. I explained online tickets still required security screening at the entrance. He asked if there was a VIP entrance. I said no. He asked why not. I said we treated all visitors equally. He laughed and said, "That's very socialist of you." I didn't respond. He asked if he could pay extra to skip the line. I said we didn't offer that. He suggested we should because people value their time differently. I told him everyone's time was valued equally here. He said that was bad business because he'd definitely pay €50 to skip this. I told him the line was moving quickly. He sighed dramatically and joined it. After his visit, he posted that the museum was good but poorly managed because they refused to monetize obvious opportunities. He suggested Germans could learn from American efficiency. I bartended at a beer garden in Dresden. An American ordered a beer and asked for a glass of water. I brought both. He looked at the water glass. It was maybe 200 milliliters. He asked if I had a bigger size. I said that was our standard water glass. He said it was too small. I offered to bring another. He asked why I couldn't just bring a large glass. I explained we didn't serve water in large glasses. He asked why not. I said it wasn't customary. He said customs should adapt to customer needs. I told him I'd happily bring multiple small glasses. He said that was inefficient for everyone involved. I asked if 3 glasses would be enough. He said he wanted 1 large glass to avoid constant refills. I told him we didn't have large water glasses. He asked if I could use a beer glass. I said that would confuse the system. He asked what system. I explained we tracked glassware by type. He said that was overcomplicating things. I offered him a bottle of water instead. He asked how much. I told him. He said he'd just take the small glasses. I brought him 4 throughout the evening. Each time, he shook his head slightly, as if personally disappointed by Germany's failure to understand hydration. When he paid, he asked if I could explain why Germans were so resistant to change. I asked what change he meant. He gestured at his empty water glasses. Stuff like this. Small glasses. No ice machines. Paid water. It's like you're all stuck. I told him things worked fine the way they were. He said, for you maybe. But what about progress? I asked what progress looked like. He said, making things easier. I told him things were already easy. He shook his head. That's the problem. You don't even know what you're missing. The truth is, they genuinely believe they're helping. Every complaint, every suggestion, every bewildered question comes from a place of absolute certainty that their way is better. Not just different, better. More logical. More efficient. More advanced. They can't fathom that other systems work perfectly well because they've never had to consider that possibility. What's your most memorable cross-cultural clash? Drop it in the comments. And if you're American, yes, we notice. But we still love you. Usually.